On the last video, I introduced you to Precious Lisbeth, and we had the chance to enjoy some great food, both from a traditional Chinese spot and a more modern restaurant. In this video, we are linking up with her friend Joanna to dive into some real conversation and what it's really like being black in China. Be ready for some truth-telling and some shocking revelations. And next, we dive into the biggest pandemic of our lifetime, COVID, a virus that took millions of lives. What was it really like to be black in China when the world shut down?
Girl,
you would see people seeing a black person or a foreigner and they literally pull their t-shirt up like,
yeah, these are some of the challenge that we are going through in this China.
You will not convince a Chinese person to choose a black person over a white person.
What is it about China that you love so much?
I'm too busy, I don't have time to hang out,
And I'm not gonna lower my standards
Yeah.
because of what you're saying.
So police are everywhere, like they can just knock at your hotel room, like show us your passport.
What?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel when you see an African here with an Asian woman or a white woman?
Have you seen those guys who are married to Chinese or dating Chinese girls or white girls? There's a thing about being black in China.
Now you ain't better cause you date white chicks. You just scared of love where the roots run thick. Oh.
Recently, in search of new opportunities, she was willing to move to Shenzhen, right?
Yeah.
You were open to move to Shenzhen?
Yeah, actually, I got an opportunity to an international kindergarten in Shenzhen.
Yeah.
And they gave me a call that we are interested with your CV. We loved your videos, everything about you. So we need you to be here on Monday. Because we have already promised the parents that we're gonna have a new teacher on Monday, so you have to be here on Monday. So I signed the contract. They sent me a contract on my phone. I signed, then I sent it back, and everything. And I told them, I live in Shanghai, so I'm gonna travel. I need to come there and live in a hotel. And they said we're gonna figure out everything. We are going to get you a hotel and apartment and everything. So yeah, I finally went to Shenzhen.
and Shenzhen is it's not close. You have to take a train. And how long does it take to get there?
If you take a slow train, it's actually take 12 hours.
12 hours on a slow train, and the
Yes.
the fastest train will be at 7?
7 hours.
7 hours.
7 to 8 hours.
7 to 8 hours. But because she has an apartment here, she wasn't willing to give up her apartment right away. She wanted to go first, see how it goes. And she started working. She was very excited, being a teacher over there. She's from Tanzania, so English is her first language, which I believe is a requirement here.
English is not my first language, but we speak English in Tanzania.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
It's
So,
our
cool.
official language.
It's your official language.
Yeah.
Okay, so to teach here, generally you have to understand, speak, and know how to read English, obviously. And I think they do tests, right? Testing to make sure your level is good
Yeah,
enough.
we do TEFL. So I did TEFL. I
Yeah.
have a TEFL certificate,
Yeah.
which is teaching English as a second language.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So after a few days, she was excited, and then something really bad happened. What happened?
So, oh my God, this is so sensitive, but okay. So I went there, and then I texted the boss that I'm already in Shenzhen, and she was like, okay, good, see you tomorrow on Monday, because I got there on Sunday, right? So on Monday morning, I was so excited to start my new job, and yeah, I went there, and I met this amazing Chinese teacher. I supposed to be in her class, so she was showing me around, and I met the boss, but no one was minding me. They're supposed to welcome me and tell me, okay, so this is this, maybe give me uniforms and all that, as a new teacher. So
Yeah.
I felt like I was left behind, and I was like, oh, let me calm down and just give it time, maybe because it's too early. So I was just assuming that maybe they are busy and stuff, And then I worked there on the first day, and then in the evening, now I had to ask the boss, the manager, whatever that. So I don't have an apartment and I live in a hotel. Can you please help me to find an apartment here in Shenzhen? Because, you know, as I told you, I'm coming from Shanghai. So he said, we're gonna give you a feedback tomorrow. So that was Monday, and the feedback is gonna be on Tuesday. Yeah, so on Tuesday I went to work, I worked and everything, and then boom, I see a new teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, and okay, like I saw a new teacher, like they were doing interview with her, you know, and the moment I saw her, I was like, I'm gone. First of all, I'm black, and the moment you see a white teacher, you're gone.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, let me be positive. Maybe it's not what I'm thinking, but this is gonna mess me up if they're gonna replace me with this teacher, you know. Anyway, so I was like, let me give it time. And then in the evening, this boss came and told me, we need to talk. I was like, okay, we have a meeting. So I waited, and then he came, he was talking to me. He said, thank you, you know, we think you're a very amazing teacher. You know, he was just giving me his reasons that, you know, parents didn't want to, they were freaking out after seeing me because, you know, of course, because of my skin color. So they were even, you know, panicking and saying they're gonna take away their kids. So, you know, and also it's gonna be complicated for your visa, whatever situation. Cause, you know, they gave me so many reasons, and I was like, okay. Before I came here, you already asked me where am I from, and you already know that I'm from Tanzania. You already know that I'm black. You already seen my skin complexion, you know. But I mean, it made sense because it's business, right? Maybe because parents didn't want me because, you know, of my color in the school. There's nothing they can do about it. So I tried to understand them, and I was like, okay. To be honest, that was the hardest day of my life. Like, I felt so down, I felt so lost, I felt so miserable. I remember I cried a lot, and that's not even the worst part. So I was like, okay, fine, I would appreciate if you're gonna pay back my train tickets, you know, if you're gonna pay back my hotel, because, you know, I didn't plan to come to Shenzhen, you know. I don't have house in Shenzhen. I live in Shanghai, so I need to go back to Shanghai. And he said, yeah, we're gonna pay back your train ticket and your hotel expenses. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went back to my hotel. That was evening around 8. He texted me again. He was like, so send me your receipts, your flights, your train tickets, and all the expenses, like, you know, the receipt, yeah, the screenshot if you have. So I sent it to him, and he was like, so we're going to pay only the tickets that you used to come to Shenzhen, right? And I was like, yeah, but how am I going to go back? Because you guys, let me tell you, the train tickets price is around 800 RMB, which is like 300,000 T shillings. It's expensive, and he said he's gonna pay me only the ticket that I went to Shenzhen. So how am I going to return back to Shanghai? You know, he was just making it so difficult for me, and he was complicating things, and he told me, no, that's not one of our agreements. Like, I had a very huge argument with him, and I told him, no, I didn't want to come to Shenzhen. I came because I knew that I'm gonna work, right? And you promised you're gonna cover. When we had that meeting, you promised you're gonna cover my ticket. And then he said, no, it wasn't your return ticket. Guys, can you imagine? They called me for a walk. I worked for 2 days, and then they are telling me there's no job anymore. So now I mean, as a resident of Shanghai, I have to go back to Shanghai. Now they're saying they can only give me the coming ticket, the price, whatever the expenses that I used to come, right? Not to go back. So how am I going to go back? Mind you guys, because I was in rush and everything, I even had to borrow some money. Like I had to use taxes and all expenses, right? Like I've spent a lot, the food, like, you know, the hotel, like all those stress. And he said, no, you know, that's not one of our agreements. Even I told him our agreement was not me to come and work for 2 days. You know, that's why they didn't mind me all those 2 days, because I feel, to be honest, I feel like they had a plan already. Honest. So yeah, these are some of the challenges that we are going through in this China, like especially we black people, when it comes to, you know, I mean, working, whatever, like it's really hard, especially if you're a teacher. Yeah, it's a very big challenge. So I had a very huge argument with him, and then he said, if I'm gonna pay you a return ticket, I'm gonna buy you a cheap ticket, you know. So we ended up, like, I told me, you have to give me my money, otherwise I'm gonna show up. So the African in me came on my head. I was like, I'm gonna pop there tomorrow, you have to pay me. I was so angry, guys. Imagine you have been working for, he said, even my salary itself, he wanted to give me half. And I'm like, why would you want to give me half of my salary? He said because it was like we were just observing. And I'm like, no one told me about observing. You told me about the job, you know. And of course I have no power. There's no way I'm gonna sue them or anything, because I don't have like the papers, you know, the whatever, the visa, you know, you need to have visa for you to legally work here. Yeah, so they promised they're gonna do my visa, but then, so where will I go? Like, I have to fight for my own. So I told him, no, you better send me that money, I'm gonna pop up there tomorrow. Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, and then yeah, he ended up telling me that, okay, if you want your 100% salary, then we're gonna buy you a cheap ticket, which is it's gonna take me 12 hours to get to Shanghai. And that's how, if you go to my channel and see my video that I posted about the hard sleeper train, because I didn't have any options, so I had to take the hard sleeper train. That was 12 hours for me to get to Shanghai.
Wow.
So yeah, that's my experience, guys.
Wow, you can imagine, man. Like, you know, you leave one city to go to the next, and then the parents are complaining about the teacher's skin tone. What they said, they're gonna remove the kids from the school, right?
Yeah.
So then they have to let her go. I mean,
because when, you know, they're like, when you teach them, they take some videos, they take some, no matter how good you are, they take some pictures of you and the kids and they post in their groups. So the moment parents see those pictures, because they do right away, so they saw me like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And but you mentioned the visa. I want to make it clear, you are legal in China.
I'm legal, yeah.
Yeah, but explain to people, because they might be confused.
So basically, I was working in my previous school, and then yeah, I'm having a visa like legally, but then the school got closed. Yeah, so I have to. If you move from one place to another place, you need to change the visa too. Like, no matter, even if you're like legally working there, like as long as you have moved from one school to another school, you have to change to that school. So basically my visa was from my previous school, so I wanted them to change to wherever the current school.
Sounds good. Because another thing that's a challenge here for a lot of foreigners is the fact that after living in the country for so many years, you expect to have some kind of status, right? Whether it's residency or something like that. But it looks like, you know, in China, you have to constantly renew your visa.
Yeah.
Because you will never be naturalized here.
Yeah.
You will never have...
You have to renew every year, like 1 year. Like, yeah.
You would never have a Chinese passport.
Yeah.
You will never become a Chinese citizen. So, you know, as I keep comparing China and Japan based on my recent experience, that's another difference with Japan. Japan is the other way. They actually will naturalize you, and you will actually have a Japanese passport. So that's one of the main difference between Japan and China for foreigners. But it appears that, salaries might be slightly higher here.
Yeah.
It looks that way. So China pays more. China is the third largest economy in the world. No, the second. US, China, and then you have Germany and then Japan. So there's a lot of money in China, but it seems like they don't always prefer people with melanin for certain positions.
But this is mostly for wherever in schools for teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more opportunities. There is business, I do business too sometimes. Yeah. I ship things back home. It's all in a hustling. We are trying to find ways to, balance and make money and all that. So we're doing all of them, like business. You also you work, when you get time you go to Guangzhou, because Guangzhou is the business city. You go there, you ship things back home.
Yeah. All right.
So we are at one place called Shujiawei, and in this beautiful community here, we are going to see one of my friends.
Okay.
Yeah, and have a chit chat with her.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's security here. We can just cross.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for IDs or anything. Well, that's good.
Because it's apartments, so
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So you were saying this is a very nice place here. Do you know how much it costs to live here? I mean, I'm gonna ask you that too. But
Yeah, it depends because there are different landlords. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's from maybe 18,000.
Okay, sounds good.
Chinese
Sounds good.
RMB, 20.
Yeah.
So it depends. Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer to have conversations like this and learn about things and people, about what it's like to be in China. This is another country that I'm very familiar with. So instead of showing you temples and gardens, which a lot of tourists go to, I prefer conversations. So a little bit different than your tourist activities. So that's where we are. Very tall building, but we did cross. They didn't ask us for IDs, but now security came. So I knew they have to have a purpose. You can't just walk into a community with security without even identifying yourself. So we're gonna be dealing with this and then meeting with our friend. So stay tuned. Let's have a conversation about life in China. Oh, first of all, let me introduce you. So she has a YouTube channel. You've been watching her. Tell them a little bit more again for people who are tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, guys. My YouTube channel is called Precious Lisbeth. So yeah, go watch it, guys, and yeah, keep supporting me.
All right, and then you have your best friend here from Rwanda.
Yeah, my name is Joanna. It's actually my first time being on a vlog. I don't know. I mean, which one is it? Is it a vlog or a vlog?
It's a vlog. It's a vlog.
Okay. It's my first time being on a vlog, and I'm really excited.
Right.
Looking forward to whatever we're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about everything and anything. So that first place had a lot of different bars. When we came in, I was a little bit overwhelmed. So tell me more about that area over there. What was it called?
That place is called Found. Right?
Found
158.
Yeah, Found
158.
158. Yeah. So it's actually a place where there is like a lot of, Chinese clubs and some few clubs for blacks and foreigners.
Yeah.
Yeah, so most of foreigners, if you want to see them, you just have to go there on weekend, on Saturdays, on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. Like all foreigners are there, partying and all that.
Yeah. So would you say that Shanghai is slow during the week? Is that the deal?
Slow during the week.
As far as people who like to party and club like that.
Yeah, because most of people going to work, they are working.
Yeah.
So some people, they do part-times, maybe they work, different hours, right?
To be honest, I think it's not slow. It depends on where you want to go and what you want to do.
Okay.
Because let me talk about the black people, nightlife.
Yes.
Black people mostly want to party over the weekend, and most of them are always free during the weekend. But during weekdays, there are lots of bars. There are lots of places. Trust me, people come to work when they're a little bit tipsy in the morning. So trust me, the nightlife in Shanghai is not dead during the weekdays, but it's not so loud like on the weekends.
Okay.
Mostly Fridays and Saturdays. Yeah.
And the first venue, was it for pre-gaming? We were there. What's the name of that place?
It's called Found 158 or Cyclop. It's famous as Cyclop. right?
Cyclop.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know the DJ seems like you went to school with her.
Oh, the Brazilian DJ? Yeah, we went to the
that
same
young
school.
girl?
Yeah, when I was doing my bachelor degree,
Yeah.
she's Brazilian. She's amazing.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of brothers out there from Africa
Yeah.
chilling,
Yeah.
playing Afrobeats.
Yeah, dancing.
That's a lot of black people. I never expected that. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
a lot. We have a lot of blacks here in Shanghai.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Africa. What is the main country you would say for people that
South Africa.
South Africa?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say that there is a
Even Ghanaians, Nigerians.
majority of South Africans, because even when you go to the party places, it's mostly South Africans.
Okay.
Yeah, South Africans and Ghanaians, I should say, and Cameroonians, I think.
Yeah,
Wow.
West
yeah,
Africans.
yeah,
in
West
general.
African.
West
yeah.
Africans in
Yeah,
Yeah,
general.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Rwanda, is that East or West Africa?
Rwanda?
I would say Rwanda is East, right?
Yeah, Rwanda is in the
East Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was Central before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's East Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been in China?
This is my 7th year.
7th, and you 8th.
Actually, it's the same.
Yes,
Almost,
Oh, 7
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
like-
met here, right? Not in Africa.
No.
Yeah. We met.
Okay. All right. So, what is the main music that they play in those clubs? What's the vibe?
Mostly I'm a piano.
Aish.
And Afrobeats and I'm a piano, but it's like for the black people clubs, it's mostly I'm a piano.
Yeah.
It's taken over for the past 3 years, I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
For the past 3 years, it's been I'm a piano. But before it was mostly Afrobeats.
What is Amapiano? I never heard of
I'm
it.
a piano, South African
Yeah, South African style.
I've
yeah.
never heard of this before.
Are you serious?
Serious?
Yeah, it's really.
Like I don't know why I'm a piano everywhere. It's so annoying.
To be honest, I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I mean, Afrobeats
Okay.
all the way. But the thing is, the reason as to why it's so common in China, I should say,
It's
in
because of
clubs.
South Africans?
Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
of South Africans. There are lots of South Africans everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, they got a vibe. Like we're not lying
Actually,
about that.
yeah, my piano
Yeah.
is nice. I like my piano,
I
but
just-
the thing is, it's too much. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like you go to a party and you expect the DJ to play a variety of, songs and music, and
Yeah.
the genre is just a piano, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down because I feel like it requires a lot of energy.
And
Have
actually,
you
yeah.
seen them dance to a piano? It's like you are literally walking out.
And the worst thing, you don't even know what they are saying because it's not in English, so you have to just follow the beat.
The beat. It's. I think a piano is literally the beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the beat.
Yeah.
Because most of the times, I don't think it's the words, because even the South Africans, just the beat, when the beat starts, you just, see everyone,
Yes.
It's a
super
vibe,
excited.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. I should
Okay.
say it's a vibe, yeah. But we're more of, Afrobeat girls.
Yeah,
Afrobeat.
we
Yeah.
love Afrobeat.
Yeah. And next door, there was some clubs with mostly Asians only in there.
Yeah.
What kind of music do they listen to? Is it the same thing?
They listen to white people music.
No, it's not. I shouldn't say white people. It's like techno.
Techno mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of music is that.
Or I don't know.
Yeah,
That's white
but
people music.
also there is a club there. It used to be. What is the name? It used to be called Hood. The Hood.
The Hood.
Yeah, and most of the people that were going there were like young Chinese people, and they love hip hop.
Yeah.
Like it was always hip hop. They love hip hop.
Yeah.
So is it like a Chinese hip hop?
No, like international. They love the American hip hop artists.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
they do. So you find them in club, like rhyming to Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah.
rhyming to Drake, and all those other artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's not really for the Chinese clubs. It's a mixture.
A mixture.
Yeah.
But I noticed nobody asked me for my ID to buy alcohol, even though the drinking age here, how old?
ID?
Yeah. In the US, to buy or even enter a club, you need to show your ID. You need to be 21 and up to go into most clubs that serve alcohol.
All clubs?
In nightclubs. Or 18 and up, but you cannot buy alcohol until you're 21. So even if you go to the store to buy a bottle of wine, they will physically check your ID card to make sure you are old enough to purchase alcohol.
They don't
No
do
one
that
asks
here.
you for
Yeah.
ID
No one is
here.
gonna ask you. I mean,
Yeah.
you're spending your money. I mean, whatever you do after you're drunk, that's your problem. That's when you.
Wow, so they don't worry about underage drinking.
Nah,
No, I don't think so because I've not seen that anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen. I've not even heard about it.
Wow.
Yeah. We
Interesting.
haven't.
Yeah.
So it's cool, right?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's very interesting because the drinking age in Japan is 20. I wonder if it's the same here. The legal drinking
To
age.
be honest, we've not heard about that. So I think I've seen some teenagers in a bar at La Waije. There is a place called. You should actually take. You should take you to La Waije.
On Wednesday, yeah. Chicken
It's
wings.
no chicken. There is also another shade there, but it's not as lit as the other shade. So there is this place called La Waije. La Waije means foreigner street.
Yeah.
So there is a lot. There are lots of restaurants. Let's say all the branches of the main restaurants in Shanghai are there. So it's the foreigners street, and you'll find a lot of foreigners there.
Foreigners there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, we have bouncers because people sometimes fight, the police to make sure people leave the club at a certain time.
I think I've seen a lot of police in Guangzhou more than in Shanghai.
Okay.
In Shanghai, because of the large international community, it's police does not,
Yeah,
it doesn't interrupt a lot.
Guangzhou, because there are a lot of foreigners, blacks, and all that. So obvious, it's a business city. Like they make sure that it's safe. So police are everywhere. Like they can just knock at your hotel room, like show us your passport.
I think
What?
Yeah,
but
Guangzhou is
I
crazy.
also think it's because of the crime rate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because
Guangzhou?
of
So
the
many
crime
things
rate.
going on there.
The crime rate, and then a lot of people don't have papers, and there is a lot of illegal businesses going on. Yeah.
Okay. So what time do they shut down the clubs here? 6 in the morning?
No, they don't shut them down. They shut them when everybody's gone.
What?
Yeah, but
For example, the place where we went last.
Yeah.
I woke up.
They fight.
I found messages at 7 a.m. and the DJ was like, "Guys, we are still going on."
You mean one half?
Yeah, one half.
Oh yeah,
And
one half is
Oh, one half is the second
But the
place.
first place, the Cyclop place they close at 5.
They close at 5.
Yeah.
And I noticed that club had, before we talk about the second one, it was very mixed with people. I even saw some interracial couples there. Often, black women don't like to see brothers with other races. So let me ask you straight up. How do you guys feel when you see an African here with an Asian woman or a white woman? That's the conversation we started last time that I'm trying to continue here for the people. Like,
you're putting us in a tight spot, but I'm gonna be honest.
Be honest.
First of all, one thing I've noticed is that when a black guy is moving out with an Asian girl or a white girl, they feel like they've met it in life. They feel like have you seen those guys? Have you seen those guys who are married to Chinese or dating Chinese girls or white girls? They feel like when they come in, like, let's say we have an event or a party, when they come through, they act like, yo, I'm different. Not, bro, you're not different. You're black. You just, you're just dating like somebody from another race or something.
Yeah.
But I hate the fact that they think they're different and they think they're. And when you talk, and one thing I've noticed is that these women control them.
The Asian woman or the European woman?
Both. They do control them.
Okay.
And they don't mind doing that, but when a black woman does the same thing to a black brother, they feel like, oh, the problem with you black girls, you are controlling, you are more verbal, but these women control them more than
Is it a financial thing you were saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, most of them.
For me, I think for few people that I know that are married to these, maybe Chinese people, these people are rich. They don't just marry anyone, you feel me? So obvious,
What about the ones in schools?
Nah, like students. So mostly they date people who are, financially stable. So, and that's why they don't have a voice to them, like, whenever those girls say, like, those ladies, like, they just have to follow because we call them passport bros.
Exactly. One thing I noticed is that most of them are dating these women, but these women are older than them.
Okay, so when we talk about this,
because of money.
Are we talking about these black men? Are we talking about African men or black American men?
All of them. I mean, they're all doing
You would
the
say
same.
the same thing?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing, because at the end of the day, it goes down. It goes down. I mean, like, we're almost getting the same pay, right? We're doing the same jobs.
Yeah.
So of course they need to be, you know, they need to upgrade. And so, I mean, for them to upgrade, they're gonna get an IE.
Yeah.
IE is aunt, those women.
Because the Chinese
They're in their, you know, 30s, like mid-30s, late 30s, and they're divorced, most of them.
Yeah.
And some of them don't have men, or so this is, I'll tell you a story. One mom came to me and asked me, "Hey Joanna, can I ask you a question?" I was like, yeah. Why is it that foreign men who date Chinese date the ugly ones?
Damn.
I was like, well, that is a question I always wanted to ask people here too. Because like, honestly, it's true. If you look at it, have you seen, like, because I think the pretty Chinese girls get taken, of course, by the, you know, the Chinese men. Yeah, by the Chinese men. And then you find like the leftovers who are divorced, who, you know, who have had kids with men, but they're not married. The others that are old, because for Chinese, when you are 30, trust me, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. Like, they start seeing you as, you know, a leftover.
And that's why they have marriage market.
So tell us about the marriage market real quick.
So yeah, marriage market is the place. It's known as a place for leftovers. Like, you know, after that certain age, and then maybe you don't have a partner. So it's basically the parents. Like, let's say my parents. Maybe already 30, in my 30s, and so my parents think maybe I'm too busy. Sometimes it's not even about the age. Sometimes it's about like meeting people, right? I'm too busy, I don't have time to hang out, you know. So they say like, okay, we go to the marriage market, they have my picture, you know, everything about all my informations, and they're gonna put it there, and people will be passing around, and okay, I'm interesting to this girl. So yeah, that's when you match and find your partner. It's like a blind date, like, you know. But
it's not by parents who are actually advertising the kids.
Yeah. It's parents, grandparents.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in China, you want to get married before 30 years old.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
20 for a girl is 26.
At least by 24, you are in a serious relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They don't do the one child policy anymore, right?
No, they don't.
That's
yeah. It used to be before.
It's not 3.
Yeah.
No, I think now that they let them do whatever they want.
Really?
Yeah. Because I heard, they told me it was because they wanted to grow their country. The number of girls, is it the number of boys? The boys are more in China actually, and then that is why most of the Chinese men get angry seeing their girls move out with foreigners.
And also there are a lot of old people here, many old people, and I think that's why they let us.
Yeah.
So you're saying the parents don't like to see their daughters with foreign men?
Okay, if it's a white foreign, now let me tell you, we call these people white people worshippers.
Yeah.
Because if it is a white man, then oh yes, our child is bringing in a white man. And
yes.
If it's a black boy, their daughter is doomed. Like it's
whether he's African or Black American, they see black people, all of them the same.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They just don't want black.
Yeah.
But if their daughter is old, they need a grandchild. Yeah. So it is okay.
Okay.
Even for the men, actually. Even for the men. That's why you see a lot of men right now from the villages are going to Africa to find girls to marry. Because then the Chinese girls don't want them.
Yeah, they tried to take her at the market. Did she tell you about this?
Yeah,
she went to the market.
These days, Chinese men are approaching black girls.
Yeah?
Yeah. They'll act shy, and of course the ones that are a little bit rich will be like, nah, I'm not taking a black girl. Because they can, I mean, they're beautiful Chinese girls. The ones that, because the beauty standards in China are actually different as well. But I think the beauty standards in China are the same as the white people beauty standards.
So they don't like women with curves and stuff?
You know,
no. But lately, their girls are getting curves and they're getting big boobs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they'll tell you, no, we don't want this. Chinese people pretend a lot. You won't even know what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah.
So they would tell you, no, we don't like this. But Chinese girls right now, they're getting curves, they're getting boobs.
They do a lot of surgeries right now. It's trending
getting
in China.
Doing
like,
Botox.
nose surgeries, eyes, like everything.
Mouth, lips.
Yeah. everything.
They do the butt as well.
boobs.
Yes.
Right now, the BBL is a big deal.
Of course.
Yeah, it is.
So Chinese women do BBL?
Of course, they're doing it. They're doing it now. But
Wow.
they'll tell you, no. I mean, we don't like this, we don't like that. But I mean, of course, I mean, who wouldn't want to look at a body that is curvy?
Yeah.
Even me as a girl, I would want to see some curves, you know?
So you like to look at her? And then of them curves? She should show what she's working with, girl. You know, she got the curves.
Show what you
Show what you got.
Mama gave you.
She got a show though. She got it all from Africa.
They're attacking me, guys. They're attacking me.
Yeah, she being shy. No, that's
Yes.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think of Chinese men in general? Because I saw more Chinese girls with black men in the clubs than I saw Chinese men with black women in the club. That's something I know. I actually didn't see a Chinese man with a black woman for the time I've been here.
I think Chinese men are shy.
They're shy.
Yeah, most of them are shy. But they do approach you on WeChat. They'll talk to you
Yeah.
in your DMs. And the other thing, I think, I'm going to be honest.
Please be.
Please be.
That's what we hear.
The few Chinese guys I've talked to have some sort of inferiority complex because they think that I'm black. Our men they always tell you that, oh, but your men are big.
Yeah.
And we're not. And so I think it comes, it's just a thing of being inferior.
Okay.
Feeling inferior.
You're feeling inferior.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever dated a Chinese man? Would you date a Chinese man?
I'm all for black men. No.
Even if he was rich?
I actually don't care about rich.
You don't care?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all for black. Yeah.
Okay. How about you?
No, I've never dated a Chinese guy.
Would you date one?
No, thank you.
No love for Chinese men, no. So the second club, though, it was more Afrocentric. Less Asians, a lot of black people.
Yeah.
But what's the name of that club?
The One Half? It's
The
called
One
One
Half.
Half. It's
Yeah.
famous here in Shanghai.
The one, do no closing time either. They party all night.
Yeah.
Wow.
You say, wow, you should
So
go to
mostly
Guangzhou.
people go to Cyclop and
Yeah.
then they party and then they go to One Half as
That's
an
an
after
after
party.
party.
So yeah, people party up until I don't know what time. Like I don't know. Do they even close?
Because at the end of the day, it's a Sunday, the following day is a Sunday. They don't care. Most of the people are not working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they prefer to stay in club till dawn. Till late. It's not even till dawn because it gets... I remember when it's holidays, when we're having holidays in China, they party till midday. They partied till midday in October. That
Wow.
October holiday. I was seeing messages from... I was like, are you guys serious? Don't you even get tired of drinking? Because I get tired of drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the social life here, nightlife is crazy. You talk about Shanghai being crazy. You should go to Guangzhou. Those people literally sleep during the day and walk at night. Yes.
Wow.
Guangzhou is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it the capital city of Africa.
Oh yeah. By the way, you might be surprised you're walking around in Guangzhou and people are speaking your language.
Some Chinese speak Swahili.
I'm telling you, Chinese
Wow.
people like. I remember one time I went to one shop in Guangzhou and I was trying to ask for some goods, the prices, and then they noticed. I think I said something in my language in Swahili, and they noticed I'm from Tanzania.
Yeah.
And then you know what he said? I was shocked. This Chinese guy was like, said like you're broke, you don't have money. Like in Swahili, like wewe maskini. I was like, what? I'm sorry.
And maskini is really, it goes deep. Like
Yeah, maskini is like
you're
a
not
beggar,
poor.
like you're poor,
You're a beggar. You have nothing.
Yeah, and I was like, "What? Did you just say that?"
The
Oh my
Chinese,
God.
the Chinese in Guangzhou are more African
They're
than most of us.
crazy.
Wow. I need to get there.
And
You
also,
should.
it's so wild. When you go to Guangzhou, you have to be very careful because I remember that time I went there and then I took a taxi, and then the taxi driver, I gave him 100 Chinese RMB in cash, and he said, no, just take your money, it's fake. And I was like, this is not fake, this is all I have. So I kept changing the 100 RMB, changing to like 400, and I got a point to, I was like tired. I was like, no, I don't have anything else. And then later he gave me change, and I left, and then all the money he was changing for me, he was giving me fake. He was the one giving me fake money.
Oh,
so I lost 400 RMB, knowing that, I'm changing for him, but he was the one changing for me. Like, he gave me fake money. So I couldn't use that money. So I came to realize, like, oh, these Chinese here are very sharp, and they have kind of African behavior.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, not in a bad way, but like, I don't know, they're so weird. Maybe because of just a lot of foreigners and Africans there. Yeah.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
you need to be very careful when you go to Guangzhou. Yeah, things happen there. Like those
Guangzhou is something else. Yeah.
We were talking earlier about like the opportunities in Canada, and you're a very strong supporter of China. Can you explain to people what is it about China that you love so much?
I wouldn't say love, to be honest, because there are lots of challenges here as well. I mean, mostly being black and being the only African country that is considered a natives. There is this thing. There is this thing about native and non-native speaking countries.
Yes.
So the only country that is considered as an English native speaking country is South Africa.
But
in Africa,
that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous because if we are to look at that in a fair way, we would say all countries that were colonized by the British are native-speaking countries, right? But here, the only country that is considered in Africa is South Africa.
So what does that mean in terms of employment? What challenges does that bring?
In terms of employment, well, South Africans get more jobs easily. They get...
Black or white South Africans?
Yes, they do get...
as long as you're from South Africa, you
but also, I think the white South Africans get more money than the black South Africans. There's a thing about being black in China. So sometimes you will see a job opportunity popping up, and you'll be like, "Oh, we need a native speaker, white like milk." You're like, "What the heck is white?"
They say that on the job announcement.
Oh, you have no idea.
White like milk?
Milky. We want milky color. So you know what they mean. And it's so ridiculous, but right now they're not even, they're no longer direct, but before it was even worse.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, they'll tell you we need whites, European,
Philippines.
Yeah, they'll ask you, they'll say we want...
Philippines. So...
They will tell you that, and also, there is a time, I'll tell you guys a story. So there is a time I was getting a part-time job. A Chinese guy comes to my DM and he's like, "Hey, there is a job opportunity, blah, 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 blah. I think you would like it." And they're paying 250 RMBs per hour for 6 kids. Mind you, we are more experienced than these people they, praise or put forward before us. And so this guy, I told him, we had a verbal exchange actually. I'm not the kind of person who, taps out so easily. So this guy comes to me and I'm like, "No, I'm not taking it. 250, who works for 250 in Shanghai?" And it's like, if it's above that, beautiful European women take 300. I'm like, "Hey."
Oh, he
actually said that.
Wow.
So I'm like, "Hey, listen, when you came to my DM, you saw a black girl profile picture.
Yeah.
So you knew I wasn't white.
Yeah.
It just because I'm black is the reason as to why you want to give me 250.
They want to pay you less.
Yes. I told him, "No, I'm not taking it." And then he was trying to convince me in a very manipulative way. He was like, "This job is really good for you, after COVID." I told him, "No, I'm not doing it." He was like, but black people are doing it." I'm like, "Stop saying black people are doing it, because, I'm not going to lower my standards because of what you're saying." I told him, and then I asked him, would you consider, if you had a child and you had an opportunity to take your child to a better school or give your child a good tutor, would you choose quality over quantity or quantity over quality? And he was like, these demands are from the parents. I told him, well, you are the agent. You need to educate these people.
Of course.
what the right thing is, because at the end of the day, black people work actually more.
Exactly.
We do a lot of work. We do a lot of work, and these people don't know that the people they love don't even love kids. We love kids. There is something about us that we love kids. We have that, motherly love and everything. We take care of these kids. And then you find like the people that they like calling these kids names in schools. You've heard that before? They call them names.
Yeah, they do.
So, but they're the same. You will not convince a Chinese person to choose a black person over a white person.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's not all of them. When I had just come to, I'll tell you, I got a job when I was still back home. I hadn't come to China yet, so I did an interview with this school. They gave me a job. They sent me a contract when I was still back home. This lady knew I had a one month visa, but they still gave me the job. That is the best school that I've ever worked for in China. The principal was amazing. She treated me like a mother. That it actually created envy among us, the employees, because of the way the employers. The employees, because of the way I was being treated. I was loved. I was favored. I was like, she really loved me. And I would say this is the only principal I've seen in China that would take a black person instead of a white person.
Wow.
And she came to me and told me, you people work a lot. I love that you are stable. I love that you respect. So for some Chinese people actually realize how hardworking we are. And how much we love the kids. As
I said before, some of these people, they are open-minded, especially for those who has a lot of exposure, some they are not open-minded. That's why they think whites are the best, but I'm telling you, there are black people who are the best with experience and everything.
I'm sad that it's not about color, right? It's your performance. But how come with so many blacks in here, they're still able to openly discriminate like that? I would think at some point you guys will get together, create an association, and maybe try to fight them back. Like it has been the case in other countries.
Let me tell you something. It's really hard. It's one thing to fight someone who knows what they're doing, and it's another thing to fight someone who is ignorant about what they're doing. Chinese people literally copy racism from Americans. They like to do everything that, Americans are racist. There's some moderate Americans that are not doing that. But, there is racism towards the black community, or black people or African Americans in America.
Right.
And trust me, that is the same thing they're doing here. I wouldn't say it's entirely racism in China. It's ignorance. They don't know, most of them, because the illiterate population in China outweighs the literate population. It's almost 1.5 billion people. Of course, not all of them are educated, and not all of them are exposed.
Is the government doing anything to fight discrimination and racism here?
They do talk about.
Really?
They do talk about. Because I'll tell you one thing. There was this thing where black people weren't allowed in some hotels. You would go into a hotel and they'd be like, no.
Really?
Yes.
Actually,
big
it's
time.
a lot.
Big
when
time.
was this?
Until it has always been like
Especially
that. Until
after
recently.
COVID. After COVID, they think
So you
that
guys are
we
talking
have
recently.
Yeah.
I don't get it. What's the connection between black people and COVID?
Oh, you don't know? Why are you pushing the question to me?
That is news to me.
So
I've never
this
read
is the thing. It is so funny that people here like to play the blame game. So when and it's so funny, black people weren't getting sick.
Actually, it's not only black people. They thought all foreigners
Were
we
sick,
have COVID. As long as you're not from China, you might have COVID.
Yeah.
Which is
we
weird because
faced-
COVID started in China.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, with the propaganda and everything, of course, you never know. Because I'll tell you one thing, a child in my class asked me, "Teacher, do you have COVID?" I was like,
And
why would this kid? And this one thing I've noticed is that it's the conversations that do happen in their homes that sometimes change. And I was like, why? I asked this kid. He's a boy. He's so verbal. So I asked him, why do you think I have COVID? Because COVID is from foreign countries.
Yeah.
Oh, so they were saying that COVID basically
Came from the US.
From
It's
the
actually,
US?
Yeah, all
It
foreign
was
countries.
vice versa.
It was most of the US. Most of the US.
But okay, so what's the connection between the US and you guys then? What would they?
They don't
So
care.
I think their mind is, as long as you're a foreigner, they don't know when you came to China, so
Yeah.
you might have COVID. So the moment they see you, they put their mask on. If it
And they're like, dude, I'm wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask, and you
Wow.
like, what is that? Yeah. It was weird. It was a weird time. When people say, oh, we went through coke. I mean, that time was a really tough time. If you weren't in China during COVID, you never went through shit. You never went through
So they
shit.
were treating foreigners worse because of the agenda they were pushing, which is it comes from the US, other countries like that.
Somebody would see you coming, they would literally run. You'd see them running.
they
away from
change,
you.
they U-turn,
Yeah,
like
they do a U-turn. Somebody just does a U-turn and goes like to avoid you.
Dang.
Yeah, it was, and there is a time I remember we got into an elevator and in Shenzhen University town, we got into an elevator and a mom the kid was like 10 years old. So when we got into the elevator, the mom tried to, blow her nose. Do you know what the child told the mom?
What?
Mom, that's bad manners. Those are bad manners. You don't do that. I swear.
Oh my God.
I swear. When we were,
That's embarrassing.
yeah, when we were moving out of the elevator, I told the woman, "Your child is really smart," and she
So
felt.
she was speaking in Chinese.
She knew. No. The kid spoke English. Mommy,
Wow.
those are bad manners. I'll tell you.
Damn.
And it's imagine a mom. You're supposed to nurture these children. You're supposed to tell them the truth. And these children instead are telling you what to do.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So what's the deal with the hotels? They didn't want black.
Foreigners, you mostly
Foreigners.
blacks.
You couldn't book a room.
No. You couldn't
Wow.
book. Yeah. If
Because they think all foreigners have COVID, or maybe we are the source of COVID. But it's so weird because it started here.
you would never convince a Chinese person like that.
This is why, let me tell you. So one time I was telling Ivan, like I told him my situation and I was complaining, I was going hard to these people about my previous situation. And Ivan was like, stop, no, you need to be more professional, you need to be soft. And I'm like, do you know what I'm going through in this channel?
There is nothing like being
Because she was telling the guy, God is gonna strike you. She was going hard
I
on
was
this
like,
guy.
you know what? So
yeah,
the Shenzhen situation,
Of course.
I was like, you know what? You should send me my money. You should send me my salary. Otherwise, I'm telling you, my God, my tears will never leave you like in peace. And then so Ivan was like, you should be more professional. You should be. And I'm like,
There is nothing like sometimes you need to go, head to head, like
That's what she
toe
was
to toe.
telling me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with these people. I'll tell you a scenario. Like there is a time at school. We usually payday in China is usually on the 10th or the 15th. So time comes, we're supposed to get paid on the 10th, and then these people come in, and the principal is like, you know what, guys, it's the 10th. We're supposed to be paid. This woman comes in and tells us that we're not gonna get paid because there is a technical problem.
Yeah.
Bro, there was wahala in the room. One American guy, and because of course they fear Mary.
Yeah.
And
He's American.
American are very
And he's white.
straightforward.
Even the black, the African Americans,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
fear that they respect America. So this guy stands up and it's like, you waited all these days to tell me on the 10th when I'm supposed to get paid that there is a technical problem?
Yeah.
It was lunchtime. He got his bag and was like, call me when you have my money. He left. Yes. And the thing is, like, I don't know, maybe some Africans face these problems in school, or they don't respect them. All the schools, I've worked for 2 schools in China, long term, but we would communicate. You don't give me my money, I'm out. Because when you are working, you will work.
Yeah, you don't have to be late. We do everything
You follow
on time.
everything that they
Yeah.
want. But there is something about Chinese with money. It's like money and Chinese people, it's like they walk hand in hand. These people love money. Oh, they'll tell you, money is our God. We don't pray to God. Money is our God.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah. So just know when it comes to money, it is another story in China.
But despite all...
So me,
Yeah.
when I don't get paid on the 10th or the 15th, we're gonna go toe to toe. Don't tell me shit. Give me my money.
So for Americans, this is going to be very weird to hear. Because in the US, people get paid generally every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay? And these payments are automatically done in your bank account. There's no arguments about if you're going to get paid. Matter of fact, even if you get fired, they will let you know you are entitled to this week pay. If you have separations, whatever, they will just pay that. And they will drop in your account. There's no arguments about payments. So explain a little bit, because I'm telling you, a lot of people won't understand what is this thing. You don't have to negotiate getting paid. It's your money. Don't they make direct payments? What is going on?
They have to. They do make direct payments, but sometimes I'll tell you, like for example, if the payday falls on a weekend,
Yeah.
you get paid after the weekend.
Yeah. Let's say on 10th is on Saturday.
You
Yeah.
get paid
You
on
get
the
paid on
12th.
Monday.
Yeah, which is
They
a
pay you
Monday.
after.
Yes.
In the US, they do the opposite. If payday comes in the holiday, generally they'll pay you the day before.
Exactly.
No, sometimes my former school, it was sometimes we would get paid before, but it's rare.
But what were you saying that you have to, if you want to make sure you get your money, is it sometimes where they try not to pay people here?
Sometimes they delay. Sometimes they'll tell you there is a technical problem. Something happens. And why is it that something is happening on my payday? On the payday? Yeah, you don't tell me that. Why is it like you waited for the 10th to tell me that there is a technical problem? Did it happen just now? Yo, we will tell you straight up. We will stay in the office. We need to get paid. Nobody's going home. Because if I don't come to school tomorrow after getting paid, you are going to have a problem with me.
Of course.
You know? Now that it's the 10th and I'm supposed to get paid, you're telling me stories.
You're gonna get
Give
paid.
me my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do they pay? Once a week? I mean, once a month or
Yeah.
twice a week?
Once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that work when you own, like when you're renting a place? What if you don't make your payment that month? In the US, generally, like 45 days or so, 30 days you have to pay your rent, but they might give you another 2 weeks as a courtesy. After that, they kick you out of the apartment. Is it the same thing here?
No, it's not.
Eish, my landlord texts me on sports on 10th, like, yeah, you have to pay rent.
I've had only one bad landlord. Let me tell you, some Chinese people are really amazing. Not all of them are bad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had a landlord during COVID. I was renting an apartment there at the Foreigner Street. That guy was so amazing. I wish he could even see this video. I don't know. I think he might not see it, but I'll tell you, during COVID, that guy told me, you don't have to pay me, not until you go back to work, because I know like there is a problem all over the world. During the pandemic, he told me not to pay. Trust me, that is not so Chinese. I wasn't paying rent.
Wow.
Oh, my landlord kept asking me about the rent.
No, never.
You know?
And I'll tell you, this guy was so amazing that even the time I was moving into this apartment from his, I didn't pay him. I told him I'll send you the money. He said, okay.
Amazing.
It's not so Chinese.
Wow.
I'm telling you this.
That's
Every
amazing.
time I tell people this, they're like, people are like, was your landlord a Chinese person? Because like even during COVID, when the government told people not to pay rent, remember, the government was like, oh, you shouldn't pay rent. Landlords were like, that is the government saying the government doesn't feed me, give me my money. But my landlord was the best. That man was great. He was actually asking me if I have food, if I have, if I need anything. I literally, because we used to do swabs every morning, like COVID test.
Yeah.
Every day at 6 a.m. you wake up, they come bang on your door, boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like it was
like you have to. Like
we had to, because there were codes. If that code after 73 hours it turns red,
then they take you to quarantine.
Yeah.
And which is so bad because there are a lot of people there. There's no enough space. You might end up sleeping on the floor. Like
it was dirty.
But what happens generally though if you don't pay your rent after 30 days? what happens?
You're
Is
gonna
there a route?
you're gonna have a problem with the landlord.
But they don't kick you out? There's no procedure in place like you have?
Some will. Some
They
will.
will.
How long does it take? Is up to the landlord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no clear-cut rule generally.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you have to have an apartment? What are the requirements here
As a foreigner?
as a foreigner?
You have to register the police station. That is the most important thing.
Tell me, what?
You need your
You need your passport.
so
Okay.
you
You
can.
write a contract. You need to have your. Do you guys do like you need to have your landlord's ID?
No, you just
go
need,
register?
For me, I just have the contract, and then you go to police station with my passport, and then they register and give me my
Yeah, that is the
resident
standard
permit.
procedure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a job and prove your
No,
income?
no.
That's another interesting. In the US, you cannot rent unless you can prove your income.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're because how are they going to give you the key? They don't know where the money is going to come from.
Wow.
You're wasting their time because for them to kick you out, they have to get the police, the sheriff department involved, and they sometimes have to sue you. So you're asking them to spend money when they can just figure out you broke from the beginning, not give you the key,
See,
and that's that.
See, that is what I was saying. I mean, some of the advantages of being in China.
Yeah, but would you rent something to someone if it's your apartment that cannot prove the income?
Even back home, people don't go through that.
But back home, I mean, in Cameroon at least, they pay a year. So you give them the key, they paid you a year.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it works in Cameroon. You don't do month by month because people, they will
No,
come up
here
with
we
all kinds of
don't
stuff.
do. My landlord, I would do month by month, but sometimes here it's 3 months, 4 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
In China, yeah.
So you can stay, it sounds like you can make an arrangement here where you can stay in an apartment for months without paying anything.
No,
It's impossible.
no, it's
It's
not
impossible.
possible.
Okay.
It's impossible.
You have to pay.
You have to pay.
You have to pay, but
They don't care where the money comes from. They don't verify that.
They don't care
No way.
about
In
yeah.
America, there
where the
is
money
no
comes
way.
from.
That's
is none
your
of my
business.
business. In China, yeah.
In the US, it's their business.
You
They'll
just
be
have
over
to
it.
pay. You just have to pay.
Sometimes they do verification of incomes. They might call and double check that you really work where you say you're working.
so
But
do
also
they?
because China, like they're big on technology, that is the reason as to why you go register the police station. If anything, if you mess up,
Yeah.
if they get suspicious, I mean, these people have everyone's data.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have everything.
Everyone's
Information.
data,
Yeah, they know
everyone's information.
Yeah.
They're big on technology. They're really good.
Yeah.
They're way ahead.
Yes.
So you don't mess up. You mess up, you see
They're going to
police.
catch you. Yeah, they're going to catch you.
You see police on your door.
And cameras everywhere. So
everywhere,
they
yeah.
just see you like when all the streets you're
Yeah.
passing, like they're gonna catch
They will
you.
know where you are. Trust me.
So when I asked this question, you said for foreigners. So that means the process is different when you're Chinese?
Yeah, it should. Maybe they need their Chinese ID, but
Yeah,
for us
they do
we just
register.
need for us. But for us it's different because we need to go to police to register.
And if you don't register within 24 hours, you have a problem. You have to pay. It depends.
A fine,
you have to pay a fine. It can either be 2,000 RMB or 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or if you are lucky enough, it has happened to me twice, and I was never fined. If you're lucky enough and the police officers are good, I mean, I've been lucky. Those guys were really good to me. And they're like, okay, we're gonna give you a warning twice. I was like,
Wow.
but the first time I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the school came, picked me up from the airport, took me to the hotel. The next 2 days, I got an apartment. They never told me that I needed to register. They told me, oh, we didn't know. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And yeah, when I went to the police station, the guy, actually the boss, is the one who took me. He like held me, like took me to his office. Do you need some tea? Oh, this is Jasmine. This is da 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 da. Do you want some? I was like, no. He was like, okay, next time, just don't do this.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah.
Wow. How about home ownership? Do you guys are aware of foreigners buying properties here, buying actual houses?
I
Or
heard
it's not really a
it's
thing?
really impossible for a foreigner.
You cannot own property?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Those are some of the disadvantages
Yeah.
of living in China.
Yeah.
Actually.
That's why you don't feel home,
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah.
You can never feel at home in China.
At
Yeah.
least you can buy a car, but if
Yes, you can buy
I
a
feel
car.
like why would I buy a car and I don't feel
Like,
like
you know,
I feel like I can leave the country anytime. I don't feel home, so
Yeah.
you won't even feel like investing.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people hear communism when they talk about China and think a lot of negative. But coming here, what I see is people who are employed, like in the US, people who are going by their day. Like, can you guys tell me if communism has an effect in your life at all? Because so much politics is like ahead of so much that what we talk about and think about. A lot of Americans have a very negative idea about this country because of the politics. Without even knowing much about the country, I don't know much about China. But honestly, except the fact that it's Chinese, the language, what are some of those, is anything of impacting your life being, like if you were in Canada, for example, is there anything you can think about that the politics here is impacting you versus if you were in the Western world?
I think to be honest, I think every country has their own laws and policies, and as a foreigner, you have to follow them.
That's right.
Yeah, and this is what makes a country great or not great.
Yeah.
So these guys, China has their own policies.
Yeah.
Their people follow these policies. Now, who are you as a foreigner to come into a country and want to be treated different? So I think it's their policies, their rules, their laws, and we have to follow them.
Like, how is the healthcare system?
The healthcare
If you get sick, are Chinese entitled to healthcare for free? Is that part of the...
actually,
We have insurance.
Insurance,
too,
yeah.
but
You have insurance?
There is. If you can afford it.
But there is
also
certain amount of limit. Let's say I'm sick, I get sick. For me to use my insurance, I have let's say to use how much, maybe from 3K.
Yeah, it's not
So
like the insurance is not.
Sometimes
It doesn't help you at all if when you unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
But if it's something really, really big,
Yeah.
like you've had an accident, you've broken your bones, but some schools cover for white people.
Yeah.
Then,
Some companies, I mean.
Yeah, some companies, yeah, they do. I know.
So if you're white, you get more coverage?
Of course, you're white. You're
guys
a
are
white
blowing-
person. What are you talking about?
They're blowing my mind over here. I'm shocked. I'm really surprised to hear these things. Like, it's so open. There's racism everywhere, but it seems so open here. In your face, like...
Yeah, and they will tell you it's not racism, it's what parents want. Yeah. Apparently, they will tell you, I've in my former school, I've never actually... To be honest, let me tell you something. I'm so lucky that I've not faced racism in China.
Oh, really?
I swear to God. But I know it does exist. I think when I say this, most of my friends say, oh, it's because you're always in a taxi, you never take the subway, you never take the bus. But I swear, I will not lie. I've not faced racism. I know it's there. My friend said, can you imagine I went to the subway, I wanted to sit, this guy stood up and left me.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was like, why would you lie? If
That's
somebody
happened
did
a
that
lot.
to me?
We need to go to the subway. I need to experience that.
Apparently do you think it's going to happen?
Oh, yeah, it might.
I swear it has never happened to me. I swear
Might.
to God.
It happens to me sometimes.
I think it's
Yeah.
because of my prayers. I told God.
Yeah, we all pray.
I know. But maybe I'm a child of God and all of you are adopted. Because let me tell you something. When I came into China, I told God, if the world and all its fullness is yours, I belong everywhere that I go. I swear I've not faced racism. I've not. Maybe if I say when somebody comes and touches my hair, like it's not like somebody's running away from me, or I go sit somewhere and somebody stands up. I swear I've never seen that. I just thank God I'm lucky.
Amazing.
I thank God.
You are very lucky. You are blessed.
Yes, I'm blessed.
Keep on praying your God.
For
You
real.
know, we always do the fellowship together, but I wonder why is it only...
Because you're adopted and I'm God's child.
Damn.
Wow.
But seriously, I always tell people this and everybody's like, I swear I've not faced racism. I swear.
That's nice.
That's
really nice.
Yeah.
I swear. Even let me tell you guys the funny bit is, so many blacks have faced racism in schools. I've not. I was at 3. There's a school I was working at. The last school I worked at, 3 and 3. Another black girl was literally stopped from working because they said that the parents needed a white person.
She just went through that.
And I had been working in that school for 3 years.
Yeah.
And this girl comes in and they tell her No, the parents want a white girl.
Complexion.
You'll see a white person coming to school during summer, dressed up weird, dirty, tipsy, sometimes very drunk. He leaves work before time, and nobody's gonna say shit.
They're very relaxed over here.
They don't ask them anything.
Yeah.
because,
This
you know,
Like they're
country's
scared of them.
the reputation is that it's very strict in China, but what I'm hearing from you guys is I'm not sure what
What
drinking
strictness
is.
are you talking about?
Like when it comes to laws,
dressing
America,
up?
you cannot be drunk in public. You cannot be walking and drinking. We have so many rules.
Have you seen the Chinese during lunchtime coming from offices and going to restaurants and they're doing gambe, like cheers with beers?
but that doesn't
And they're
happen in
gonna
the
go.
U.S.
They're gonna go back to work.
Americans do happy hour. They don't drink in the middle of the day like that.
There is happy hour all the time here.
You see, so it's
you
very
mean-
interesting
so
to
you
hear
mean-
this.
You mean in USA, like people cannot get drunk and maybe do some weird stuff on the street, like
During working out?
singing or something like.
If you go to a carnival and there's drinking within the premises of that, that's fine. But how you getting home? You're probably going to drive. The police is generally going to set up a DUI, drinking under the influence checkpoint somewhere. You will get arrested. And if you get arrested, they take your car. It goes in your license. Your insurance goes up. You can lose your job. It has a huge impact in your life.
No, people get caught here, but let me tell you something about China. When we talk about technology and the things they've made easy, so sometimes you go to drink. Those people, like you, they're people that you call. They're small bikes. They have small bikes and they're foldable bikes. So you call a person to come drive you home. So this person folds his bike, puts it in the trunk of your car, drives you safe home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen those foldable bikes?
No.
They fold them and put them. So you call him, he comes to you, folds his bike, puts it in the trunk, drives you home.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Final-
But not all of them, of course, call them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed. I mean, no real drinking
Yeah.
age. They don't card you to buy alcohol. You guys are able to get, jobs. You seem extremely happy here.
Yeah.
You'll be happy soon when everything works out.
What do you say? Extremely happy. I'm here for the money.
Well,
But you happy, baby?
but you're happy.
Yeah,
You have
I'm
never faced
happy.
racism.
No, to be honest, I
Yeah.
haven't. I haven't.
She has. Your experience, you guys are both here for the same amount of time, but your experience is very different. What do you think your experience is different than hers? What do you think that's the case?
When it comes to racism?
Yeah. What? It's very interesting. You guys are friends, been here the same
No,
amount
we're
of time.
friends, but we all been to different environments.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
it depends to where you are. Let's say from my previous school, we had some Chinese teachers. They used to go on the app. We have some job hunting apps, and then they go there. They see our salaries. They're like, wow, these girls are getting paid a lot.
Yeah.
And then they started, actually they started like misbehaving, like things that they're supposed to do. They tell us, you get paid more, you get paid a lot.
Yeah.
And they keep questioning, like, why are they black and they get paid this amount of money?
I mean,
So we don't deserve to get paid much? I was like, nah. So for me, I became to my hardest, like, I was like, you know what, you're not gonna play with me. If I'm supposed to do this, I'm gonna do this. If it's your job, you have to do your job. There's no way you're going to harass me just because of my color that I'm getting paid more.
Yeah.
We all have our responsibilities.
Of course.
You do your responsibility, I do mine.
Exactly.
Yeah, like this.
But I think it goes back to being ignorant. I mean, I'm a commodity. I came here to make money, right?
Yeah.
I had our expenses can never be the same. Foreigners, hey, this is your country, right? You have a lot of benefits. See me as a foreigner, I have to pay for everything.
yeah.
My life is more expensive than yours, so you need to understand that we can never be paid the same.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. My final question before we finish this one video here is, let me start with you. Do you wish you lived in the US instead of China? If yes, why? If no, why?
Yeah. So I can say yes. Why? Because I feel like when I live in the US, maybe let's say I've been here for 7 years.
Yeah.
I went to school, I did my bachelor degree, I did my master's, but trust me, you don't feel home. I mean, in the US, I can live in the US all those years, right? But then they can hire me. Like, okay, there is some opportunities here too, but I'm talking about like you can be permanent resident there, like, right? So here in China is so hard. But also I love China because of, you know, there is some business opportunities here. There is some, you know, as we're working as teachers, and the pay is so good. Also in the US, the disadvantage, of course, you can't compare the life expenses with China. You know, here it's affordable. Like, you know, it's affordable. It's just that sometimes it's hard to get those opportunities. Yes, but yeah, China is a good country. But also USA, I would wish to live in the US because of wherever, you know, you might buy your house there, you might get your shit, like your family and everything. But you can't buy a house here, can you? Like, it's, I don't think you can.
All right. How about you?
To be honest, I wouldn't live in either countries. Like, I prefer Africa. For me, I feel like all these countries, they're good for us to make money, but East or West home is always the best. I mean, if you have money in Africa, if you have good money, you have a house, you're not renting, because, you know, of course, in Africa, not a lot of people are renting. People own homes. Even the poor ones in the villages own homes in big lands. Yes. So for me, it goes, I wouldn't want to stay in China. I wouldn't want to stay in the US. I would just want to come, make money, go back. Yeah. Because I feel like after China, no, I'm not. I'm going to be traveling. And yeah, that is all. I wouldn't really want to stay in any of these countries.
If both doors are open, and you're in Africa and you need to go and make money, China is open, US is open, where would you want to go?
I'll still come to China and make money because the money in China is really good. You know why? I'm not native. I'm not paying tax.
You don't, wait a second.
No, girl, come on.
I'm not paying tax.
Okay.
I'm not paying tax.
Why?
But we pay taxes here. I used to pay tax.
They pay taxes. I don't know, maybe those guys, maybe they used to do it and then
because of...
You don't pay taxes?
No, I wasn't.
Why? Are you married to a China man?
Yeah.
No, not all of them.
Yes, girl. Yeah, I've been paying my taxes, all my taxes.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay taxes?
No, I think maybe they cut it off from my salary or something. But it's not a lot still. It's little money.
Yeah,
it's little money.
All right, I don't want to put all your business on YouTube, so I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna continue that off camera. But thank you for chatting about life in China, and I think people are gonna be surprised that you will still come to China versus the US, because a lot of people have this idea that the best place to make money in the world is the United States.
People have this picture about the US being the land of dreams, and everything. But with what happens there, I think, and also, let me tell you the reason as to why I would still come to China over and over again. Yeah. These people's security is really good.
Yeah, it's so safe.
Security-wise.
So you feel safe here?
Yeah, very safe. Any day, any time. China is very safe.
They don't have guns here.
No.
You can go to downtown at 3 a.m.
You can
just walk around.
I'll tell
no
you,
one cares.
During COVID, during the lockdown, we would move out and walk on the streets at 3 a.m.
Wow.
And, it's very safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and who wouldn't want to stay in a country that is really safe?
Yeah,
same thing with Rwanda, like the safety comes first.
Yeah. Last weekend when we went out, I left my phone in the bathroom. And I came like all the way. That's like 4 minutes. I went back and it was still there.
Yeah.
Like no one cares. You can leave your phone.
You'll leave something in a car. You'll find. You're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So safety in China is really top notch. These guys' security is really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No one is gonna take your phone. Like cleaners have iPhones. Yeah. People are holding very nice phones.
The small kids,
small kids have their phones in tabs. Wow. Nobody wants your phone.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. For me, I got my own personal security here. He follows me everywhere. I don't even pay him. And she had a chance to meet him today. So guys, if you want to know about my security guard, check out that video. He follows me everywhere. To my hotel, to the restaurants. Yeah. It's very safe here. I feel very safe here.
It is.
And he said he want to make friends with you.
Exactly.
So maybe
Are you guys real?
I'm being serious. We're going to tell you about this. No, I'm not joking at all.
Oh. Oh.
He's here. He's somewhere. I'm sure I'm gonna get out of here. He's gonna be outside waiting. I mean, this guy is following me everywhere. So check out that video, guys.
Wow.
But thank you so much for sharing your experience. We're gonna
Thanks.
continue. This is part 1. I'll make you guys talk today. So we are sipping on Valentine's. This is good stuff right here.
Yeah, it's Brazil
And
lime.
and it's early in the day, so we're functioning alcoholics. It's a good thing. All right, thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.
Then the virus come, a darkness take hold. The world shut down, stories of fear untold. Suddenly my presenses spark such a fright. Accused in the streets in the dead of the night. Go back to where you come from. The words cut so deep. From my home, them drive me. Nowhere left to sleep. Tested and questions when others walk free. A target painted plainly just for being me. Before I could smile, before I could breathe, before my intentions them go truly believe. A shadow falls heavy, a silence descends. My color speaks first, where my junior begins. She go speak, oh China Machina, tell me where I stand. When my Milanini be like a curse in this land. White no mean better, I scream to the sky. We all be the same with tears in our eyes. What about competence? What about the skill? My experience matters if only them will. See past the pigments, the shade of my skin, to the woman within, where the true light begins. I want pass the job, but my spirit don't tire. Prefer a white face, clearly desired. My degrees, my talents, my hustle, my drive. Or and they don't seem barely alive. Them see a shadow, not them and I true line. Other shout preference, a terrible scam. Though the world see beyond the divide, the true world deep inside where all values reside.